Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Regent Crane. Let's begin our telephonic meeting of the Academic and Health Affairs Committee. It is November 9th, and the time is 2:18 p.m. Let's see. This meeting, of course, has been posted with the Secretary of State as required by the open meeting laws. Please note the audio of this meeting is being broadcast live. And before we take roll call, just a note on the phones, mute them unless you need to speak. Laura, let's begin with the roll call vote of the regents. Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Chair Crane?
Here.
Regent Harrell?
Here.
Regent Edwards?
Here.
Regent Flores?
Here.
And do we have any other regents on the call? Okay, thank you.
All right, let's move from that bullet.
Okay, we'll now go to system staff. Chancellor McCall, do we have you?
Here.
Thank you. Dr. Hayek?
Here.
Sean Cunningham?
Here.
Derek Alexander?
Here.
Pierce Mitchell?
Here.
Do we have any other system staff who've called in?
Hey, Laura, you have Daniel Harper.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Laura, let's move to the component representative.
Thank you. Lamar University. Do we have Dr. Evans? He was on earlier. I've asked all the presidents to rejoin us at 2:20, so hopefully he'll call in here.
Oh.
Okay. Let's move on to Sam Houston.
Dick Egglesayer and Chris Maynard.
Thank you. Sol Ross.
This is Pete Gallego, and Dr. Kanukin, I believe, is also on the line.
Yes.
Yes, Rob Kanukin here.
Thank you, gentlemen. Texas State.
Denise Trout here, and I believe Jean Bourgeois and Lisa Lloyd are on the line.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
LIT.
Lonnie Howard, Carrie Mick,
Goodbye.
Angela Hill.
Okay, Angela, Carrie, Dr. Howard. Thank you. Lamar State College Orange.
Tom Johnson and Dr. Wendy Elmore.
Thank you. And finally, Lamar State College Port Arthur.
Eddie Renard.
Thank you, Dr. Renard. That concludes roll call.
Laura, this is Ken Evans. We're here.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Evans. I'll add you.
And Brenda.
And Brenda
Thank
Nichols.
you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I'll turn it back over to Chair Crane.
All right, thank you all. I want you to note that Dr. Hayek has had a chance to brief me on the agenda today. So at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to John, who will present the Academic and Health Affairs Committee's agenda items. John?
Great, thank you, Regent Crane. Good afternoon, everyone. Just for kind of help maybe speed things along this afternoon, I spoke with Regent Crane earlier in the day about for both the action items and the consent items. I think we're going to go through each item one by one, but then save collectively, do one vote total for the action items and then one vote total for the consent items, unless a regent wants to pull items separately and have a separate vote on it, and that should help speed things along for us this afternoon. So with that, I will start. We have several, two items from Lamar University, and with that, I will turn it over to President Evans for the first item, which is Planning Authority for a Doctorate Program in Information Systems. President Evans or Dr. Nichols, would you like to take the first item?
All right, John, I had you on mute. Yeah, I'm going to turn this over to Brenda Nichols, who's going to comment on this.
Yes, sir. So this is an agenda item for Planning Authority for a doctoral degree in information systems. This is a outgrowth of our Success Online with the Masters in Management Information Systems. And then we've actually had increased demand for an undergraduate degree and now a graduate degree. We're very fortunate to have filled out our faculty with 5 kind of exceptional doctoral people, and we're looking at planning for a doctoral degree in information systems. This is the first step of that. We notify the board we notify the Higher Education Coordinating Board after our board meeting, which starts a year-long process. We will come back with a detailed plan, curriculum. We have done a needs assessment and do believe that we will fill a gap that has been missing in the marketplace in terms of higher education and management information data analytics at a graduate level. Did you want me to read the?
That sounds good. Any questions on that? With no questions, we'll go, Dr. Nichols, yes, if you could just go on to 3B, the Planning Authority for the Doctorate of Nursing Practice program.
This is a program, we actually have a great deal of expertise at the master's level in nursing education. It is a focus of the nursing shortage group that has been meeting with the coordinating board, looking at how to get more nurses out working. A big shortage is in nurses with education backgrounds that can deal with curriculum, clinical, and simulations. One of the things I'm the most proud of is our simulation lab, which now has 15 beds, which is integrated into every nursing course, undergraduate and graduate, that we have, and allows students clinical experience on mannequins and dummies that they can't kill. We're really excited about this one. It will be 100% online. It may involve residential schools. This is the first step in that planning process, and between now and next November, we will come back to the board with a complete curriculum and a solid proposal.
Okay, are there any questions on that? If not, 3C, Dr. Hay.
Great. 3C is, we'll move to LIT, which has a number of items here. The first, very exciting to talk about the approval of Lamar Institute of Technology's new strategic plan, 2020 to 2025. President Howard?
Thank you so much, John. Indeed, we are excited here at LIT to seek approval for our strategic plan 2020-2025. It's only 8 pages long, but it has been years in the making. It's based on hard science, qualitative, quantitative research, and what the goal was to create a shared vision. Early on, we actually asked our internal, external stakeholders, how do you want LIT to look in the future? And almost to a person, the data revealed that everyone wanted growth and excellence. And what we found was that this notion of growth and excellence was really consistent with TSUS's Vision 2020 and 60 by 30. It also aligned well with my prediction of having 10,000 students in the next 10 years. So from this, we wanted to still grow, but in our growth, we wanted to remain a neighborhood college, but have a statewide footprint. So in this plan, we talk about developing programs across the state of Texas. We talked about laying out some specific goals to help us achieve excellence. And very quickly, those goals were to increase student access, success, and reduce debt. The second goal was to be more responsive to our community and to our industry, and to promote excellence. We believe, without a doubt, with approval with this plan, that LIT would have a roadmap to where we want to go for the future, as well as a strategic plan that will help us get there. Are there any questions? Thank you.
All right, if no questions, thank you very much. That was good. Let's move, John, to 3D, addition of an Associate of Applied Science in Commercial Electrical Technology.
Great. President Howard or Dr. Mix, if you can take that one.
Yes, sir, Dr. Hayek. May I join items 3, D, E, and F into one conversation?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. So what we have is an addition of an Associate of Applied Science in Commercial Electronic Technology, the addition of a Level 2 certificate in Commercial Electrical Technology, and a Level 1 certificate in Commercial Electrical Technology. This came upon the recommendation of our advisory committee that is composed of both business and industry leaders as well as our local electrical union group. And there has been a need, and it's found both on the occupations in demand list and targeted occupations for Southeast Texas Workforce Solutions. These 3 awards will culminate in someone who has an unrestricted electrician's license at the associate's degree level and allow for multiple opportunities outside as a maintenance electrician, electrical installer, and or repairer. The Associate of Applied Science is 60 semester credit hours. The Level 2 certificate is 45 semester credit hours, and the Level 1 is 18 semester credit hours. Do you have any questions for me?
All right, if no questions, Dr. Hayek, 3G.
3G, yes, it's an addition of a Level 1 certificate in plumbing technology. Dr. Mix?
Yes, sir. 3G is a 33 semester hour Level 1 certificate. This will be the terminal piece of the plumbing technology. It was designed in concert with our local union, as well as other representatives in industry, and also in business, and the students can seek employment as a general plumber and or plumber, installer, or repairer. Do you have any questions?
No questions. Dr. Hayek, let's go to 3H.
Great. 3H is LIT's last item, the addition of Associates of Science in Engineering. Dr. Mix?
Yes. Our Associate of Science in Engineering is a 60 semester credit hour award that is also leading into a 4-year degree where students can transfer. Also, according to SetWorks, the engineering degree is also on the Occupations in Demand and Target Occupation list for this year. This associate's degree will allow not only our traditional age students, but also our K-12 students who are in dual credit programming to receive an Associate of Science in Engineering that will transfer to general 4-year engineering pathways. We also have Lamar University and other 4-year universities interested in creating 2+2 articulation agreements to have a seamless pipeline of talent from LIT to 4-year schools. Any questions?
Oh, that's very good. Okay, let's move to 3I, which is EMT Basic Certificate.
Great. Yeah. If President Johnson or Dr. Elmore would like to take this next one.
Yes, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Elmore.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to present to you for your consideration a new proposal for a certificate in EMT Basic. It's basically, we've had a institutional award that was comprised of 6 hours, but at the request of our advisory boards as well as K through 12 partners, there has been an increased interest in adding some coursework to help round out the curriculum that is going to be needed for our basic certificate. So the basic certificate will be comprised of 15 semester credit hours. Any questions?
Excellent.
Not
Dr. Elmore,
hearing any questions. Wait, Dr. Hayek, did you have a question?
no question. I was just going to have her add to that with her the intermediate certificate as well, with which is
Right, thank you. So basically, leveraging off of the basic certificates, those students who wish to continue and pursue additional education, again, at the request of our advisory committee, as well as K-12 dual credit partners. There is an intermediate certification that builds upon what we formerly had as an institutional certificate. So we found some successes in both of those institutional certificates, but at the request of our partners have been asked to extend it to a greater level, of more in-depth. I'll entertain any questions.
No questions.
Okay, if there are not any questions, I would like to move on to K and L, item agenda A, K, and L. Both of those are connected to some degree. So LSCO is very proud of the Ordinary Seaman program that we currently have in place. We've been in deliberations with Texas A&M University of Galveston's Maritime Department and have devised some awards that can be carried over to their baccalaureate degree. So in that regard, I would like to propose an Ordinary Seaman 2 certificate, again, to align with A&M University Galveston's Maritime Transportation Baccalaureate degree. This certificate will expand what students learn in our current Level 1 certificate, and it will allow them to earn additional coursework towards the Level 1 certificate. So Ordinary Seaman 3 certificate will extend beyond the first 2 certificates and allow additional coursework for our students to, again, be able to translate or transfer to TAMU Galveston's baccalaureate degree. We've had great conversations with those departments, and we have great industry advisory board representation as well. Are there any questions with either of those proposals?
Hearing no questions. Dr. Hike, what do you think if we take 3A through 3L as one motion, and then in order to honor the next couple, 3M and 3N, we take those individually?
Sounds great.
Okay. Then as chair, I'll make a motion that we move forward with 3A to 3L and approve those for the full board to consider. And in some cases, well, in all cases, the Texas State University System Board will have to approve those. And in several cases, so will the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. Now, with that motion in play, Dr. Edwards, how do you vote?
Yes, I vote to move forward with that recommendation.
Okay. Regent Harrell, your vote?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, very good. The next one on the agenda is 3M, which is about a distinguished associate professor emeritus of art to Grace Magnet. Dr. Heck, do you want to pick that up or
Sure, we'll
assign that?
Sure, we'll give this one to President Renard to introduce this one, as well as the next one for Mavis Treble. President Renard?
Thank you, Dr. Hyde. So let's see, Miss Magnet, Grace Magnet. Some of you will remember meeting Grace Magnet at a recent board meeting when she was awarded the Regents Teacher Award. And I think she just about brought tears to everybody's eyes about explaining her background that began in Switzerland and working with Mother Teresa. She has excelled as an artist across the country, and she recently announced her retirement, and we felt like this was a fitting memorial to her and her accomplishments at Lamar State College, Port Arthur. The second Professor Emeritus Award or motion that we're proposing is for Mavis Treble, and Mavis has distinguished herself not only on our campus but across the state. She also is a Piper professor and also recently received the Leon Jaworski Award by the Texas Bar Association for her advancement of government and law in post-secondary education. So she has a long tenure at Lamar State College, Port Arthur, well over 35 years teaching in the classroom. And of course, every student on campus knows Mavis Treble. She also worked for many, many years as the chair of the Faculty Senate organization in Texas, or in the system office. So, we're delighted to be able to recognize her for her accomplishments over her tenure as an instructor here at Lamar State College, Port Arthur. So,
Great.
There you have it, Dr. Hayek.
Thank you very much. These are information items, and so they don't really, the board does not need to take action on them, or the committee does not take action on them, and so they're really for informational purposes. But if Regent Crane, if you'd like to move them both forward to the agenda, I think that would be great.
Okay, I approve their removal to the full agenda, and to let's take a quick vote. Regent Veronica Edwards, how do you vote?
Approved.
And Regent Hall?
I vote yes.
Okay. Dr. Hike, do we need to move 3M and 3N to the full board for their approval?
Well, yes, we will. I'll just give a brief summary of the final two items. Informational items are the certified enrollment report for summer 2020, as well as the preliminary enrollment report for fall of 2020. As we talked about, I think in the last meeting, our summer enrollment was actually was very robust in spite of the COVID, and up almost across the board, across all institutions in the system. And then our fall enrollment is also actually, headcount was record enrollment for the fall, and a little bit more mixed from an institutional perspective, but that was also the case from a statewide perspective. So again, Regent Crane, those are just information items to move to the full agenda.
Okay, well, let's take a quick vote. By the way, John, I think I confused a couple of items there, but we got the vote, so that's good. So let's do these last two informational items on the enrollment certification and move those to the full board for approval. I make that motion. Regent Edwards, how do you vote?
I approve as well to move forward.
Thank you. And Regent Hall?
I vote yes.
All right, very good. I think that concludes our business unless there's any questions. Well, wait a minute, we've got to do the consent agenda, don't we, John?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, there are, 17 consent agendas, consent items on the agenda, and I'll make the motion that we move all of those unless anybody has a question or wants to pull one out and discuss it or even delay it to the full TSUS board for their consideration. So I make that motion, and Regent
Crane,
Edwards, how do you vote?
Regent Crane,
Go
just before,
ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry, just before we vote, we probably should, I'd recommend, if it's okay with you, to actually allow the institutions just to talk very briefly on these, although they are mostly routine and administrative. I think it would be good for the record just to have the institutions give a very brief synopsis of the changes that are being brought forward before we collectively vote on them, if it's okay with you.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
Great. So the first two items are Lamar University consent items. Dr. Nichols, would you like to take these?
Yes, sir. The first item R, is It is a new construction management courses for the MBA program and the Certificate of Construction Management Project Management program. We had some courses that were overlapping and not very distinguishable between undergraduate and graduate level. So this is actually a suggestion that was made by an accrediting agency to retitle and renumber the courses. The second agenda item reflects the changes to the Masters of Business Admin, which deleted 3 hours of a curriculum that was shared with the MSN program, the Master of Science in Nursing dual degree program. So we eliminated the course that is no longer required in the MBA. It also provided an option for a set of courses so they can either take healthcare informatics and that's our two.
Excellent. The next item is 3T. It's a Sul Ross State University item on it's a title change for the Bachelor of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies in the College of Education Professional Studies. President Gallego or Dr. Knukin, would you like to take this one?
Hi, this is Pete. I'll recognize or introduce Dr. Knukin to explain the fairly simple change that we're asking for.
Thank you. Yes, it is. The most recent legislative session made some changes in credit hour limitations on education courses, which permits institutions to once again offer a Bachelor of Science degree in education, where we had been offering it as a Bachelor of Science degree in interdisciplinary studies. And that's led to quite a bit of confusion over the years. So we're seeking to change our degree to a Bachelor of Science in Education, and that will entail a change in the classification of instructional program code 2. Any questions?
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Knukin. The next, most of the next dozen or so items are from Lamar State College Orange, and really based upon the impact of Dr. Elmore and the great work that she's doing there, and just in terms of the review of the curriculum and various changes that they're bringing forward here. So, President Johnson or Dr. Elmore, I'll turn the next items over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hayek. I appreciate that. As Dr. Hayek said, they're pretty minor in scope. I will direct your attention to the first 2 items are for continuing ed programs, which by nature we traditionally would not bring. However, both of these will be needing a coordinating board approval because of the span and contact hours that they will have. The first being massage therapy, and it will have a total of 525 contact hours, which meets the threshold the coordinating board defines as a continuing ed program. And then the second being court reporting, which will accrue a total of 775 contact hours. So again, by definition of the coordinating board, they will meet the threshold requiring coordinating board approval and notification. Any questions on either of those programs that we're bringing forth? Okay. The following items, items 3W through 3Y are all very similar in that they are all a revamp of, or just a close review of the AA in communications, the AA in liberal arts, the AA in sociology. Each of those had offerings of phys ed or kinesiology courses that we are not going to be offering. So we're basically just moving the phys ed courses, the physical education courses from the academic elective option for each of those Associate of Arts degrees. Following that, I've got 2 consent items for our Associate of Arts in Teaching. I observed that we were not fulfilling the coordinating board's guidelines for the AAT requirement, so we've added a Math 1351 for both of those courses, for both of those programs. Any questions on that? Okay, move on to criminal justice certificate. That's 3AB. Basically, that is a modification of our current criminal justice correction certificate. We are revising it to better align the coursework in one of our longer certificates as well as our associate's degree. So that's just a revamp of some courses, and it's removing some that were more advanced level in what was originally defined as an introductory certificate. There'll be a 15-hour level 1 certificate. Item 3AC, we are taking what was formerly an institutional award, and we are creating a level 1 certificate, or we're adjusting the level 1 certificate to include some coursework that we have been requested by the advisory board, such as med-term and electrocardiography. So that's an adjustment to that award. Item 3AD, we are modifying our currently approved ordinary seaman level 1 certificate, which is the first of those 3, the second and third being ones I spoke of earlier, and realigning the coursework for it to be better ordered to create the level 1, level 2, and level 3 certificates. And then my last 3 agenda items would be for 3AF, 3AG, and 3AH. We are going to request from Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commissions on Colleges to identify 3 sites off campus whereby we can offer 50% or more of an associate's degree, primarily to target for our dual credit partners. So those 3 sites being Little Cypress Mauriceville, Vidor High School, and West Orange Stark High School. Those being the 3 additional sites we are requesting. And if approved, we will proceed with SAC's approval for that those new sites. Are there any questions I can answer? Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Elmore. Regent Crane, the final 2 items on the agenda are 3AH, which are miscellaneous curricular changes, as well as 3AI, which are out-of-state, out-of-country study programs, and you will note in the agenda items there, those are, clearly subject to COVID-19 restrictions in this. And that is it.
Okay, so I can make the motion then, Dr. Hite, that items for the consent agenda for our next TSUS board meeting 3R through 3AI be approved to move to the full board consent agenda. And having made that motion, I ask Regent Edwards for your vote.
I vote yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Regent Hall, your vote, please.
Yes, I vote yes. And may I add, the fact that we don't ask questions, I think, is a way to show our confidence in all the decisions or the things that are brought to us on this.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, then I want to thank everyone for calling in. And since there is no additional discussion, this concludes our telephone meeting today. I look forward to seeing everyone next week at our board meeting at Lamar. Thank you all very much. And our time, Laura, is 2:52.
Thank you, Chair Crane.
Thank you.